Good morning. It's a beautiful overcast day today. We might get some rain and I'm excited about it. But I must say that the weather's been wild lately. It's been like really hot and then super like cozy and wintry. And my internal systems are not sure what's happening at the moment, because like a part of me is like, okay, get up and go, it's due time, and another part of me is like, oh, it's wintering season, let's grab a blanket and sit by the fire and read a book. And it's like these two intense extremities, which is cool. I mean, we all need that balance, but yeah, I mean, I like seasons. I like spring and summer for energy and external excursions, and I like autumn and winter for internal, philosophical, reflective, wintering hibernation kind of vibes. So I think like it's been hard to get out of bed and have this motivation to carry on with certain things when my spirit's like, no, but we're wintering, it's rest time now. And I'm like, no, it's not. But it's all good. It's all good in the hood. Yeah. So anyway, we've done some cool things this month, especially the pineapple tournament. I'm trying to think if we've done anything else particularly sociable. I think we went to the beach as well. That was cool. Anyway, I didn't really film things because I was doing my usual self-doubts and thinking that this vlogging thing is just lifestyle porn. Which, you know, in a way it is, but it's also not the end of the world, because yeah, I have like this anxiety about talking to the camera like this about my life and about my thoughts and blah blah blah. But I've watched, like, there are vlogs out there of like basic girls doing their makeup for like an hour and just talking about like the clothes that they bought, like really basic things that really matter to them, and that's cool. And the fact that their audience engages with them on that topic is like beautiful and validating and interesting. But like, I find myself to be, must acknowledge myself as a relatively deep individual. Let's be honest, I'm fucking deep. The Hardy does agree. And that's like a part of myself that I really hide from the world, because I just have been I perceive that no one gets me, and I've got this like super emo attitude to life sometimes, coming from like, you know, middle class suburbia where my parents worked all the time and they were disregarding and neglectful to my emotional needs, like super emo kid background. Like, I struggle to think that my voice is valid. And then my mindset for vlogging is just like, Ash, there are like literally basic bitches out there, no hate, so much love, because they're like inspiring me to speak my truth. They're out there like just talking about makeup and shit. So why the fricadelle can I not get on here and like talk about the processes of my human journey that I'm going through, because they're so fucking real and authentic and honest, you know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just talking about my life. But you know what? No, I'm not, because we are all humans and we are all living a life and we are all each other. And I have 100% awareness that everything that I go through, a lot of other people are going through in their own ways too. And when we talk about these things and when we share about these things, we create space for connection and validation and emancipation, because we're not like stuck with these things alone in ourselves. We can talk about them. So that's why I'm trying to be out here and be authentic. So yeah, the things I'm struggling with this month are, last month it was like masculinity and femininity and finding that balance between doing and being, which is interesting because that's what I spoke about at the beginning of this monologue. But this month I feel I'm struggling with self-worth and confidence to authentically show up for what I want for my life and the visions that I have for my life without thinking that they're like weird or what's the word even, like pointless, like literally lifestyle porn. Like I've been thinking like it's like pornographic to share my life with people, which as I said in a way it is, but you know what, a lot of people like porn. So I'm sure there'll be an audience out there for it. These dudes, every time I run past you, they go boss. Anyway, so yeah, I've just been like super in my head lately. I've been avoiding excuse me excuse me. I've been avoiding some of the things that I've been wanting to do, but I have been doing a lot of things that I want to do as well. So I'm trying to just like lower my standards, acknowledge that my mental health is like a fragile little being, and nourish it, you know. To not like, yes, it's good to push boundaries, it's good to push comfort zones, it's good to get up and get it. But it's also like life fluctuates and we ebb and flow, and we are cyclical beings, and expecting ourselves to be able to get up and get it at the same time with the same enthusiasm and the same energy every single day of our lives is completely irrational and unfair and inhumane. So I'm out here being an authentic human. I'm walking today because I know I need to for my mental health. I haven't done yoga in 2 days. I ran on Sunday, it's now Wednesday. So I'm just trying to maintain my life. I live in a bubble, which I have entirely created on my own and decided to live in. I'm not completely detached from the outside world, but I am reasonably detached from the outside world, because the outside world is a fucking chaotic place, let me have you know, which you all know already. And I'm someone who wants to help the world, right? I have big visions for the world. I have a heart for the world. I have passion for the world. I have passion for people. But when I spread myself too thin and become completely overwhelmed by the intense energies which I feel of the whole world, then I become fucking suicidal. And you know what? A dead Ashley is not a helpful Ashley, and a super depressed, wanting to unalive herself Ashley is super unhelpful too. So I have taken to creating my own little bubble of a life that I can live in and sustain my own sanity to the point that it is sustainable enough that I can go out into the world and give of myself. Because I have a lot to give, but if it's not coming from a healthy and sustainable place, it's not going to last very long, and I'm not going to last very long. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of us need to learn in this life, is like the only way you can really ever be of service is to humanity. The only way you can ever really be of service to humanity is by first being of service to yourself. And I know that seems selfish, and maybe it even is, but maybe the world needs more people to be selfish, you know? Maybe we need to become a bit more self-serving, initially at least, so that we can get our own lives to a point of abundance and overflowing, blissful energy, where we are so happy and so grounded within our own human existence that we then have energy to serve the rest of the world. Because let me tell you, I've been the person out there feeding homeless people and completely draining myself of my resources and my energy because I saw so much negativity in the world and I was so desperately trying to solve it, and I just dug myself into a hole and I became a dysfunctional person, and then I wasn't able to help any of the people that I was trying to help. So I learned to take care of myself and then find ways to impact the world that do not hurt me. So anyway, I think I was deep in the ramble there about sustainability and self-care and putting yourself first and all of these things, which is all valid and true. But at the end of the day, I paused the video there and I said, at the end of the day, I don't know what to say, because I was like, you're building up to like a point there, Ash, and I was like, what's your point? The point is that I had this experience the other day where I was working on my coloring book and I was taking it so seriously, and I was like tensing my muscles and I was hunching over the desk and I was like really pushing to try finish it and like really down on myself for taking so long to hand draw an entire fucking coloring book. And I just had this moment where I like detached from the moment, and my higher self was watching this little human Ashley who was like really, really seriously drawing a velociraptor driving a van with vase of violets on the roof and a violin. And I just had to laugh at myself because it's like, dude, what are you doing? My art is not serious. My art, the whole point of my art is to like point out the absurdity and the comedy, the humor of existence, and to bring that element into reality, which is far too often very serious. And I was taking it seriously. I was taking it so seriously. And it was really getting me down. And I was like, dude, you chose art because it makes you happy, because you can bring people joy through your art, through spending time doing what you love. Then you can share what you love with people, and that can inspire people with love and passion. And now you're sitting here like you're at a 9-to-5 desk job, like grinding your own balls because you haven't met your own deadline and you don't think you're good enough for yourself. And it was just this ridiculous dynamic that I became aware of within myself, which is cool and empowering. So anyway, very long story short, the point is like, nobody's perfect. I gotta work it again and again till I get it right. Right? Like we're all out here, dude. We're all out here being humans. Fucking flawed human beings. And there's really nothing else we can do. Like, I'm gonna have my shit together in the future and I'm gonna look like this boss ass witchy bitch, and people are gonna be like, damn. But then I'm gonna be like, go look at my past vlogs and they will show you that my life has been a mess, and it still is sometimes, you know? Like, I think we all... There's a good tractor over there. Farm things. Where are you, tractor? There he is. Tractor. Tractor. Cool. Farm life things. Yeah, the whole reason, like, my YouTube channel itself is like a social commentary on the imperfection of being human. I have intentionally shown up as myself. Not that I want to like promote dysfunctionality or mental illness, but I do want to promote authenticity and mental fluctuation. And the ebb and flow of life. So my journey has been a continuous upward journey of healing and enlightenment and ascension towards self-actualization and beyond. And that is not a straightforward journey. And I would propose that none of humanity are on a straightforward journey. Girls. We are the girls. Girls. Okay, sorry, super long rant, but the point, one of the points. Anyway, like today I'm walking, right? I usually run. And for some reason I have this like subconscious belief that walking is not good enough. But I love walking. And I feel so good when I do it. And maybe every day I can't show up for a run because I don't have the energy or the lust. But it's a lot easier to show up for a walk, you know. And I'm trying to implement that philosophy into my entire human existence. Like, we don't have to run. Last night my friend said something. She was quoting her boyfriend, and then she like paraphrased it, and she made it so cool because she was saying he always says, don't rush a good thing. And then she said, and life is a good thing. And it was just like so profound. Life is a good thing, so don't rush it. We don't have to feed into hustle culture and show up at 100% every single day. Like, that's completely irrational and dysfunctional to expect that of ourselves. But we can show up with like 20% some days, 30% other days, 10% some days, 1% some days, 50% some days, fucking 70% some days, and maybe there are some days where we can even show up as like 99%, my dudes. Life is a journey and it fluctuates, and we're all out here ebbing and flowing. I just think that the perception that the mainstream media sells of what a human with their life together is completely a lie. Like, it's all airbrushed and staged and scripted and acted and perfect for the cameras at the right angle with the right lighting and the right sound equipment and the right sets and the right every single little detail. Like, that's not reality. Reality is nature, and nature is messy, and that's okay. It's all a part of the process. Yeah, our little human lives are not that big. 100 years ago they didn't exist. 100 years from now they won't exist. And that is fuck all in the grander scheme, my dudes. So let us just try to remember that, how small we are and how fucking insignificant we are. And how at the end of the day that doesn't mean that our lives mean nothing. It just means that we don't need to think that they mean everything, and we don't need to stress about everything all the time. Like, we just need to live our lives. We just need to show up for ourselves, and we just need to walk sometimes instead of running, because that is honoring where we're at in the process. And by doing that, there will be days where we can run. And maybe we feel better on those days because we get more of a rush of endorphins, and our running apps validate us and people validate us, and they're like, wow, you're so strong and you're so fit. But they don't see the days where you're just walking, because we don't even acknowledge those days as valuable. Never mind show them to other people to have them see them as valuable. But the days when we are just walking, or just putting a little bit of effort towards the project, or even just resting so that we can have the energy to put towards the project on another day in the future, all of these parts of the process are just as real and valuable as the days in which we achieve and accomplish and show up in the way that we wish we could every day. So that's my March revelation thus far. Embracing imperfection, not letting it spiral into dysfunctional depression, but also acknowledging that my energy levels are a bit low at the moment, and that is fucking a-okay, because they won't be like that every day.